Hi, my name is Mac Pate, and this is my 7 Cups Service Learning Project poster. So this is a project that I completed for my Social Work 222 class, which is Social Work Values Lab. This class was instructed by Dr. Hitchcock, and the organization that I worked with was 7 Cups. There's a quote from the 7 Cups website that I really liked, and I felt really embodied the organization's purpose, which is no matter who you are or what you're going through, this is a place where you'll be heard and cared for. We might be strangers on the surface, but underneath, we're just the friends you haven't met yet. I love that line, we're just the friends you haven't met yet, because the purpose of 7 Cups is for listeners, for members to log on and chat with trained listeners about whatever emotional turmoil they're going through, problems they're having, and just have a safe space to talk and be offered compassion and empathy. One of the things that I like to introduce myself by saying when I am starting a new chat is, hi, my name is, and then I say the username I've created for myself. I'm not going to say it here just to remain anonymous, but hi, I'm Jane Doe. Have you ever used 7 Cups before? They say yes or no, and I'll say, well, welcome back, or well, happy to have you. Just a heads up, I'm not a trained mental health professional and I cannot offer advice, but I'm here to listen and I'm here to support you. And that kind of lets users know, or just remind them that even though I'm not a trained mental health professional, and even if I could give advice, which I can't because I'm not qualified to, and it probably wouldn't be very helpful advice anyway, since I don't know the full situation or circumstances, that really the goal is just for me to be there for them. And that act of being there for them is very important and very underutilized in our society. So, as far as the community impact went, I felt that the best thing to embody it would be these statistics and percentages that came directly from the 7 Cups website. So, 100% of research participants would recommend 7 Cups to people who suffer from prenatal mood disorder. 84.6% indicated that the listener is a good support. 79.1% indicated they would like to chat with the listener again. 75.8% of participants indicated they feel much better after chatting with a listener, and 70% of research participants rate support from volunteer listeners on 7 Cups as equally or more effective than traditional psychotherapy. I think that last 70% rated equally or more effective than traditional psychotherapy is really interesting because, you know, I feel like a lot of the time if people don't have the means to access traditional therapy, they feel like they don't have any mental health resources. But 7 Cups works to bridge that gap and offer people resources. And I think that's really important. And that listeners find it so effective. And not only that it's there, but that it is effective. So one of the skills that I had learned this semester was active listening. Which involves just hearing what people are saying and reflecting it back to them without offering your input or bias. One of the things that we learned about this semester was accessibility. So I think one of the things that 7 Cups does really well is be very accessible to people. Oftentimes, financial situations, financial circumstances, or mobility issues, or a complete myriad of reasons could prohibit people from accessing traditional mental health resources. So having this free service that's online, that's available any time of day, 24/7, 365, is really helpful because people can access this when they're in need, for free, and anonymously, so they don't fear retribution, for reaching out for help. One of the things that was really helpful during the course of this semester was the class discussions and instructor feedback. So having that kind of class discussion facilitation where other peers of mine could talk about their experiences helped me feel more secure in the work that I was doing and less alone. And having instructor feedback really helped as well to help me narrow down what it is I'm doing well and what I need to improve on. Specifically as it relates to social work, the core values and ethics as outlined by the National Association of Social Workers that I felt really are embodied by this service learning project are service, social justice, competence, and importance of human relationships. Social workers are expected to volunteer a certain percentage of their time and social work skills to back to their community. And I think one of the ways that students can start practicing this is by volunteer services such as this. It's easy. You don't have to take a lot of time to do it. You can download the 7 Cups app so that you can do it on the go. I think it's a really great way to embody both service and social justice, and to work on your competency skills and actually, especially with active listening, so that those are skills you have really practiced and embodied going into your social work profession. And finally, the importance of human relationships cannot be understated. Even though listeners such as myself are not trained mental health professionals, just connecting genuinely with people, letting them know that they're heard and they're not alone is so important and such an underutilized skill. And I think that just by providing that service, we listeners can do a lot of good. So the purpose of 7 Cups website is to offer accessible mental health resources. On the listener side of things, 7 Cups offers a myriad of training courses. Here I have screenshotted the ones offered to me, and the ones that I'd completed at the time of taking the screenshot. So personally, I'd completed the active listening, ADHD, getting unstuck, surviving domestic assault, sexual abuse, and pineapple support training courses. That's not to say that that is all that I personally talked about with my members that I communicated with. These are just the additional resources that I took provided by 7 Cups to enhance my personal skills. So one of the main challenges of this project was time management. It was hard to find time consistently to do this between doing school full time and working part time, but it is a very manageable issue. If you download the app or you dedicate an hour a week to this, it's very easy to complete. One of the main rewards I felt was personal fulfillment. I have personal experiences with anxiety and depression, and that having those personal experiences allowed me to really connect to some of the members that I was talking to. But I also, in connecting with members who had issues I'd never personally faced, like chronic illness or domestic abuse, I was able to get new perspectives and enhance my worldview. And I think that's really important, especially as I go into a social work profession where I'll be able to relate to some of my clients, but not others. And just having the ability to connect and empathize with people whose experiences do not align with your own is such an important skill. Thank you so much for attending my presentation. I'd like to thank 7 Cups for existing and for providing the resources they do to members and the training resources and supports that they offer for their listeners. I'd like to thank Dr. Hitchcock for being in charge of this social work program and for instructing this course and spearheading this service learning project. All the feedback that she provided over the course of the semester for this project was really helpful and informative. And finally, I'd like to thank my peers for being in this together, sharing their experiences to help me not feel so alone in mine. Thank you for attending. I hope you found this informative, and have a nice day.